don't wanna run. I don't wanna fall apart and act like it never happened. I don't wanna lose my mind. I wanna make it up to you like everything is fine. I just got back from Mexico City. I actually made a whole video about it, but just didn't feel right when I wrote a script, recorded it, and I realized that I was kind of forcing conclusion that I didn't fully believe, or at least not ready to follow. So I'm just starting over, talking out loud. When I went to Mexico City, before I went there, I did a lot of research because it was my first trip in a while that I didn't have my dog to worry about walking him, making sure he gets enough playtime. And also, I didn't have to worry about checking my emails, worry about what's going on with my work. I didn't even bring my work laptop. So, because it was kind of rare opportunity for me to have like completely free time, I wanted to make the most out of it. So I did a lot of research. I obviously searched Google, I read Reddit, I even asked ChatGPT. So by the time I got there, I knew which neighborhoods are supposed to be the ones that I should like, and what kind of cafes are cute, popular. But when I actually got there, my first destination that I was the most excited about were very disappointing. My first impression of Mexico City, even though I actually was there about 15 years ago for a night due to flight delay, it was kind of my first real time being there. So my first impression this time when I got there was that it was quite crowded, but also a bit gritty and dirty on the street. Lots of trash, graffitis, not really my thing. And the bakery that was strongly recommended, it's called Panaderia Rosetta, was a bit disappointing. It was beautiful. The pastry were good, but I took a Uber there, and when I got off Uber, there were like, I want to say at least few hundred people waiting outside. And even though tables were cute, I didn't feel like sit there. I actually went there thinking I would just sit there for a couple hours having coffee and read a book. But how do you just sit there and read a book for a couple hours when you see there's like a few hundred people waiting in line? So I just ended up taking coffee and pastry for to go and just walking down the Roma Norte streets with a bit of disappointed feeling. I was not very happy about it. I actually a little bit bitchy to my ChatGPT, like, why did you recommend this place? I hate this place. But the funny thing is, then I turned around the corner and saw this little cute cafe that it's a very small, but they had a few tables outside under the trees in a quiet street, and that had just kind of the exact vibe that I wanted. Like people were just kind of quietly chatting with each other outside, or some were just reading, some working on their laptop. Oh, and then also there was a light filtering through the leaves and just kind of making this nice, beautiful, moving shadow on the tables. It just felt right. I felt like, yeah, this is exactly what I was hoping to find. So I sat there, had a coffee, and finally read the book I wanted to read. That's when I was like, okay, Mexico City is actually not bad. And then I decided to go to Polanco. The Polanco, when I got there, it was rainy, really strongly rainy. Is the right word? Heavy rains. So I was getting soaking wet, and then also it place felt a little. It was clean, way cleaner than Condesa. There was not like graffiti on the street or walls, but felt a little dry, sterile. But then I saw this little cafe. I mean, I was looking for like coffee number 3 at that point for the day. And I saw some people sitting outside having coffee. So I was like, okay, I'll walk in here. But then when I walked in, it turned out to be like absolutely gorgeous bookstore. You know, the kind of bookstore that like there are a bunch of like little tables all scattered all around. There's like couch here and there and just people just chilling, reading, you know, nobody cares what you're doing kind of place. And it's 2 stories. So I was walking up and down and checking different sections of books. Most of them were in Spanish, but there was some English section too. I was like, yeah, this is it. It was kind of place that you can just disappear into your own thoughts and forget about whatever was stressing you at the moment. I think that changed how I felt about Polanco. So what does this all have to do with, you know, what's the point of all this thing? Well, that's when I realized internet can tell us what most people love, but it cannot tell us what we will love. Because obviously everyone's different. So my preference might not be exactly the same as someone else's preference, or at least not the same as what most people in average like. But I think more importantly, that experience is not so much about just the place. It's the place and the time and who I was at the exact moment. I think, the first coffee shop in Roma that I liked, I think it looked even more impressive because I was disappointed by Panaderia Rosetta. It wasn't something that I went there with expectation. I just discovered it. And that bookstore cafe in Polanco, I discovered it. It's not something I just read about it and went in to check it out. And also the fact that outside was rainy and kind of messy, and then walk into this little tiny opening and then see this grand bookstore that's so well organized. Hundreds of thousands of the books that's lined up floor to ceiling and wall to wall. And just people all kind of just reading books and doing their own thing. Like outside world doesn't exist. It almost felt like walking into the rabbit hole of Alice in Wonderland. But if it wasn't rainy, or if it was right after I was in some exciting place, bookstore might not have felt the same. Also, if there were some noisy group of people in the bookstore, probably would have not felt the same. So all those like little things, the weather, the light, the people you run into when you are there, and what I did before, how I felt before I walked in there. I think all of that affects our experience, how we feel about a place. So I think that's why internet cannot tell us or anyone actually can really tell us what we will feel when we get there, because it's just unpredictable, thousands little things. And the thing is, I started thinking that's probably true for most of the life as well, right? Like, we think so much about, well, when we are younger, when we thought so much about what kind of career I should have. Do I want to get married or just focus on my career? And we do definitely do a lot of research. We read about other people's experience, watch those like day in a life kind of videos, and talk to the people who are in that field. When I was going into trading, I spoke with so many traders to hear from their perspectives. And I read books about it. And those can help. Those can give me some facts, right? Like, okay, this is what the trader's life look like in general. And this is the kind of things that what most traders like about their job, most traders regret about their job. And you can kind of have ideas, but you don't really get to know what you would feel in there. Like, you don't really get to know how you would feel in that job or in that married life or being a mom or any of those things. I think a lot of things about a job, I'm a trader, but it's not so much about trading. I think it's about what kind of market I ended up working in. Am I ended up working in very volatile market or very stable market? But also who your colleagues happen to be and what other hobbies I have at the time also affects how I feel about my job. So all those things really cannot be predicted. The question I'm always asking myself these days is, should I continue working so I can make some more money, or should I just quit and do things I want to do without having to worry about working? I guess I won't know what's the better choice. Well, actually, you know what? I will never know what's a better choice, because even if I choose one, I don't know what the other one would have been like. But if I choose one, I know I will find out what I feel like in that one, which right now I am choosing to keep working. And I know what I feel in that situation, but I would never know what I would feel if I leave and spend all day long writing, thinking, reading, learning something new, taking pictures, skiing, all that. I think I felt like I don't know. I feel like I'm about to cry. Just thinking about doing all that all day long, the way I want it. There is very strong longing for that. Maybe this is a sign. But maybe just the grass is greener. I'm not sure. But I think it's something worth thinking about.